Hello and welcome to the Top 10 Business Ideas video series. So I put this video series together because I know in talking with different people that a lot of people do want to start something on their own. They're interested in that entrepreneur lifestyle, they're interested in opening up their own business, but they have no idea where to start. Or perhaps they have a lot of ideas, but they don't know what would be the best for them, what is worth investing a lot of time and money into. So in this 10-part series, I'm going to go over 10 broad business categories and then specific examples to give you some ideas of what that business might look like. In addition to the examples, I'm going to go over a list of pros and then a list of cons. So whenever I'm going through these, think of what would apply to you, what your values are, what your end goal is, what you really want to do when opening up your own business. So I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that it gives you some clarity, and please feel free to reach out. I'll put all my contact info below. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. And I hope that you are able to find your next amazing business idea. All right, enjoy. Welcome back. This is video 4 of our 10-part video startup series. And in this video, we are going to be talking about creative businesses. So for all you creative folks out there, this is the video to watch. And if this is the first video that you're watching, essentially what the structure is going to look like is first I'll explain what a creative business is and give you some examples, and then go over a list of pros as well as a list of cons. So let's dive right in. So what is it? This is a business in which you create something in exchange for money. You will need to consider one major factor when you're developing your business plan. Do you create something that can be replicated, such as digital prints, books, music downloads, blogs, etc.? Or do you physically need to create the products, jewelry, artwork, crafts, etc.? This will determine if it is passive or active. If you watch the very first introductory video, I went over passive and active income, but I'll explain it as it applies to actual creative businesses. So, for example, if you create a book, you only had to write that book once, and you can sell as many copies as people want to buy. That is passive income, because passive income is whenever you can create something, but then you don't have to create it each time or be there selling it each time to get money. It's not that direct exchange of your time and your effort for money. However, if you make custom jewelry, you can physically only create one piece at a time. And this is more active because you're not going to get paid unless you create that piece of jewelry. So this is, just something to consider to be prepared of if you're going to have more of a passive kind of business or an active kind of business. And one is not better than the other, but you just must think about this, deciding on your pricing, as well as planning what your role will look like in the company. So examples of creative kind of businesses are you can sell crafts on Etsy or your own website, such as jewelry, wedding products, home decor, clothing, toys, and games. A whole bunch of stuff you can create. You could also write and self-publish novels. This has become very popular. On Amazon, they have Kindle Direct Publishing that you can easily write your own novel and put it up there and sell it. Also Nook from Barnes & Noble, iTunes. Smashwords is another website to look into. CreateSpace is a paperback version, and it's actually part of Amazon, so you can provide all the items digitally and they'll actually print it out and sell it in paperback. Another option for creatives it's blogging. So you can write a travel blog, you can write a food blog, a fashion blog, a blog about animals, anything that you're interested in that other people are also interested in. And you can also create art that you can sell online, or you can sell it in person at galleries, events, festivals, or you could do both. And you can also sell music. So again, you can sell this digitally on your own website or on third-party platforms. You can post on YouTube, and you can use YouTube to draw people to your own site to make purchases. Or there is a a program, I guess it's a program called Patreon, Patreon. And people can donate money to you. So if you produce a lot of really great YouTube videos, then people can go on this and donate any amount of money so that you can continue to produce these YouTube videos. So and we're going to be going over some other ways to get actually paid for your creative work. But when I mentioned music, I also had to mention that. All right, so let's go into the pros. The first pro is that you can turn your passion into income, and you get to do what you love, which is amazing. Creative people feel alive when they're in the process of crafting their masterpieces. In today's world, there are plenty of outlets to showcase all forms of creation. If you can figure out a way to make your creative works profitable, you are able to do what most cannot, and that is make a living doing something that you love every day. There's also creative freedom. So when you own a business, you are able to call the shots. It can be creatively stifling to work in a job in which others dictate what you can and cannot create. And I'm sure many of you have probably felt that way, and maybe that's why you're looking into starting something of your own. If you own a business, you are able to call the shots. Since most of this type of work is passive, like I mentioned before, you can also set your own schedule and work from anywhere. So even if you do make something physically, you can still set your own schedule. You can work from 2 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning every single day. You don't have to be in the office from 9 to 5. The third pro is that you can develop a very loyal customer base. There is a theory stating that all you need to make a living is 1,000 true fans. So if you have a small number of people who buy all of your creations and absolutely love it and then recommend it to their friends, you can be set. There are a wide variety of tastes and interests. All you have to do is be able to find the group of people with whom your work resonates. And that might be the difficult part, but once you do it, then that's how your business becomes profitable. And then the final pro is that you can start small and scale. So you're able to start small and test several ideas to see which one sticks. So for example, you can self-publish 10 different types of novels on Amazon, iTunes, Nook, whatever, and you can see which one get the most sales. So whatever book was the most popular, you can then create an entire series based on that popular book. Or you can start selling on Etsy and then develop your own website and eventually open a bricks and mortar boutique for your jewelry if that's what you want. You can start selling your art at farmers markets or festivals. You can hand out cards with your website on it, or your email, or even like a social media Facebook page or an Instagram, wherever you show all the pictures. And that way you can stay in contact with potential customers and build that following. So the possibilities are really endless. You just have to be able to explore them and know all the different options that are available to you. All right, so there are always cons, and we're going to be going over the top 5 of them. So the first con is that you're going to need to have customers who want to pay for your product. So I know in the pros section, I made it sound really exciting, but you also have to be realistic. And if you've ever heard the expression starving artist, this comes from the reality in which many creatives produce pieces that they love, but aren't necessarily loved by the general public at that time. I mean, maybe they're too progressive, or maybe they just haven't found their market. So if you want to create and make money from your creative work, you will need to make sure that you are crafting something people are willing to pay for. And if you're only crafting something for yourself, that's wonderful and that's beautiful, but that's a hobby and it's not a business. So you have to find that good balance. The second con is that people might not see your vision. They may and likely will, or you may and likely will have to deal with haters. And it can be devastating to hear nasty comments made about something you poured your heart and soul into. There's a balance between being able to take constructive criticism to help you grow and also be able to ignore people who are just being negative. It is better to be loved by some than liked by all, because it is those who love what you do that will buy from you. Those who think that you're okay will look at your pieces and say, that's nice, but they're not going to open their wallets. So put yourself out there and let the controversy begin. Just be prepared for it. The third potential con is that you'll need to market and get your name out there. So often the number one problem that creative business owners make is the lack of marketing. You have to understand marketing concepts and strategies and know who your target market is, as well as devise a plan of how you're going to reach out to potential customers. This may involve doing some things that are out of your comfort zone and might evoke fear or anxiety. The key is that you cannot let this prevent you from trying. There's a lot of free information available, and if you have the funds, you can also hire somebody to help you with this. But don't let this one piece, this marketing piece, stop you from pursuing your dreams. The fourth con is that it can be a very large time investment. As mentioned previously, it can take a while to establish trust with potential customers. I mentioned that in a previous video, the online business video. So if you want to take a look at that, if you haven't already, I mentioned it briefly in there. But there is a popular theory that states that it takes 7 touches with your business before the average person will purchase. So this means that they have to see you, they have to be touched by you 7 separate times. This is an average, of course. So this could be that they read a blog article you wrote, then they see you on social media. Then they decide to join your email list and receive several emails. Then they watch a YouTube video. And they do this all before they feel comfortable enough to invest their money in what you are offering. Or possibly they see your work at 4 different art shows before they take your card. They take your card and then they see your social media accounts and they follow you on Facebook. After following you for 3 months, they finally decide to purchase a piece of your art. What all this means is that you have to invest a lot of time reaching out and establishing trust. If you truly are doing something that you love, this will not seem overwhelming as it first sounds. If you're proud of your work, then share it on all platforms. Scream it to the world. And depending on your personality, this may or may not be comfortable. So you might be really proud, but you also might be really introverted or shy or anxious. And so this is not going to be something that comes naturally. But it is a component of it because you have to turn your creations into products that people will pay for. And this leads me into the 5th and final con, and that's the hassle of selling products. So if you're creating physical products, you will need a place to store the supplies. You'll need to make the products. You'll have to deal with shipping if it's online. You'll have to have enough overhead capital to pay for product supplies until you make a profit. And customers today are used to instant gratification. So you also must consider this. Whenever you're creating your products, if you have a website that sells custom jewelry and you don't start making that jewelry until somebody places an order, then if you want to do a really good job, it might take you a couple weeks to make the jewelry and get it out. So the key thing to keep in mind is always be upfront and don't make promises you cannot keep. So people would rather know it's going to take 4 weeks to get a product than you stating, oh, it's going to arrive in less than 1 week to try and get that sale, and then it takes 3 weeks. So if you know it's going to take a while, just be upfront about that. And this concludes our video on creative types of businesses. Just to recap, this is any business in which you sell something that you're creating. Artwork, crafts, any sort of writing, music, etc. The main pros are that you get creative freedom, fulfillment, and joy. You get to do what you love to do. Also, the ability to develop a following, people who love your work and will follow you anywhere and buy any of your products. And also, if you develop that following, there's the potential of high profits. The main cons are that marketing may feel uncomfortable and it may feel unnatural, but is the necessary evil. You can also face potential criticism for people who don't understand your artwork, and whenever it comes from a place of love and passion, this can hurt if you don't develop a plan to deal with it. It can also be time consuming. It can be time consuming to develop a following, and it can also be time consuming to create your products. All right, so this has been the 4th video in our 10-part video series of business startup ideas. And in the next video, we are going to be talking about internet marketing and affiliate marketing. So if you are a creative person and you want to build a creative business, I highly recommend that you watch the next video, because we're going to be talking about how to generate income and profits off of your creations. And you can do this in ways other than directly selling them. So if that sounds interesting to you, especially if you're going to be an author or a blog writer, I really highly recommend it. If this sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and check out the next video, and I will see you there. Thanks. Thank you for watching, and if you would like more information, please go to www.mymbse, that's mymbse.com. And if you would like to receive your free copy of the top 10 mistakes of new entrepreneurs and how to prevent them, click below for details on how to get that.